This video is going to show you how to migrate your notes from Notion into Reflect. So I'm here in Notion already, and I have a kind of like a sample workspace set up in Notion, and I've got their pre-created workspace pages here. And that's actually going to work out pretty well to show you because I can show you how to export the whole workspace. Now, you can export individual notes if you would like. You can go to the three dots here and just click on this export button. And you can just export a single page, but what I'm going to do is export the entire workspace, and then we're going to import that into Reflect. So let's get started. We're first going to go to the settings. So if we go to settings and members, and then up to settings here, we can export all workspace content. So I'm going to click on this, and we are going to choose the HTML. So make sure you have HTML. I should note that we accept Markdown files in Reflect as an import option, but the formatting doesn't work as well. So recommend doing HTML. Okay, so that's set already. I'm going to have it set to the current view, and I'm not going to actually, for this example, I am going to have it include everything. You might not want it to include files and images if you have a lot of embedded files that wouldn't appear in Reflect. So that's up to you depending on how many you attach. I want my images, so I'm going to say everything. I'm not going to have it create folders and subpages. That one you should not select. So if it's pre-selected, unselect it. And that's pretty much it. So I'm going to hit export. And this should go pretty quickly, although my Notion workspace here obviously is not very big because it's not a real one. So if you have a very large or complex Notion workspace, this might take a while. I think they send you an email. So if you want, you don't even have to sit here and wait for it. But looks like there mine is. And so I'm going to save it to my downloads. And that's all we need to do in Notion. So now I'm going to go back into Reflect, and we're going to import that. And I'll kind of show you some of the options that you have and how that works. Okay, so now I am back in Reflect, but I am not in my main graph. And that is important because I always recommend doing these imports in a test graph. So I've just created a new one. It's called Notion import. You call it whatever you want. But the reason we recommend doing this is because whatever application you are importing from is not going to have the same formatting that Reflect does, especially something like Notion, which I don't want to criticize them, but they have packed quite a lot into that interface. So there's quite a lot of things that don't translate directly. So I just recommend doing it into a test graph. It will just, make sure that everything looks good, and then you can just do it into your main one if you're happy with everything. So I'm now going to go do the import. And by the way, just to kind of show you, this is what the all notes page looks like at this point. These are just the notes that come in with a new graph in Reflect. So I don't have anything else in there. And now I'm going to go to my preferences. I'm going to select my Notion import graph down below here, and I am going to import the files that I just downloaded. So I'm going to select HTML. That's the important part. And I'm going to click select files. Oh, I forgot a step. So here, I can't click on this because I have not unzipped it yet. So before you import it, you're going to need to click on the zip file and unzip it. So I'm going to go do that. I don't think it's going to show up in the recording because I'm only recording my Reflect screen right now. Okay, so I unzipped the file. And again, all I did to do that was just double click on it. And now I have this folder sitting here. So I'm going to click on that. And inside we see all of my Notion files. Now we've selected HTML as the import method. So it won't allow me to import these PNG, JPEG files, .csv files. But what you can do is just do a Command A, and it will select all of the available files that it can, and then just hit open, and it will start the importer. So that was pretty instantaneous because I don't have many notes in that Notion database. So there's only 31. I'm going to click start. And again, mine is going to be really, really quick here. If you've got a bigger Notion workspace, yours is going to take longer depending on how large it is. So I'll click close, and now let's go take a look. Awesome. So here you can now see all of these new notes that are now in my Reflect graph. And this first one here is sort of like, I don't know, just the information about the import itself. So it's got like the workspace ID, it's got my name, and then it's sort of like contents of everything that it imported. probably I would recommend changing this to like uh, notes imported from Notion so that you always have a reference for it, but I'm not sure that it's really needed. And everything else here you can kind of just see as been imported. So um, again, these weren't things I wrote. These are things that just come with the Notion dashboard. But like if I click on this, it's got the icon that's still kind of importing and all the contents of that note there. So uh, everything's at least there sitting. You might have to go do a little bit of reorganizing depending on how your actual notes are set up. But I think that's the easiest way to do the imports. And I'll say again, if you want to just import a few of your pages, you can import them page by page instead of doing your whole Notion workspace. But that's pretty much it.